This is a new episode of podcast for IPH, Institute for Public Humanity at Austin Peay State University. My name is Zhang. I'm an assistant professor of communication at Austin Peay State University, and today we are honored to have the local artist Lorenzo Swinton to join us. Welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here, James. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being with us. So can you start with your story? What's your story?
I feel like my story is always ongoing. But I was born and raised in North Carolina. I did life there, and then my sister was stationed here, so that's how I ended up here in Tennessee. So Fort Campbell, it was an eye opener for me, just being in North Carolina for so long. It was a different, diverse culture. So after she moved on, I decided that I want to stay here in Clarksville. So I did the work thing, just going through corporations and just moving in the scale of jobs. I needed an outlet. So I've done art for a very long time. I've always been a creative, just whether it's music, poetry, art. And I kind of did a 360 right back to art. So it was more of a therapeutic approach for me, and from there, I understood that that was what I needed to do. That was my gift. So I continued to create and just continue to try to push the narrative as an artist. So that's really my story, and I'm just always going through the experiences of trying to explore and identify myself in the art realm.
Thank you, Lorenzo. Thank you for your story. Since you really elaborate on that art aspect of your life, so could you talk about your artistic work? So if that's okay, thank you.
So I started in abstract. Like I said, that was just more of therapeutic, trying to understand, or is therapeutic. It was me wanting to have a different outlet other than going through, depression or, doctors, saying you need this or you feel. So I felt like art needed to be that. So I started doing abstracts, and from there it was like collector. It was like, hey, I want your work, and I was like, okay, well, there's a way to monetarily make money doing this. So started doing abstracts, and then from there I went to a lot of residencies, started learning about narrative approaches, unlocking what was going on here to a canvas, or just writing it out. So now I'm more into abstract narrative approaches, and it has recently turned into more spiritual work.
Spiritual work. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And we all know that you have a gallery in the historical downtown of Clarksville. Would you mind if you talk about your gallery?
Yes.
Thank you.
So, kind of backtrack, why the gallery was built. So last year in February, I was in a unfortunate near fatal car accident. Had to life flight me to Vanderbilt through several surgeries, and doctors saying, hey, there's a possibility you may not be functioning mobily like you were, and that's not what I was hearing. So that's where then the spiritual work started. So I was in the hospital for a month, and after that I was on bed rest for about 6 months. So I just gained spiritual strength and just more of like submitting and just getting that strength back up to where I started in a wheelchair, then worked my way to a walker, then crutches, and after a lot of rehabilitation, I just felt that I was here for a purpose, and it was more of just not self-service, but more servitude for just the arts, because through my journey in art, I've just found the most. I've been inspired and influenced by other artists and how they work, and just learning that these artists have stories, and just like me. And from there, my wife, she just looked at me, after rehabilitation. I said, I've been called to open up a gallery and to serve other artists. And she was like, well, how are you going to do that? And I'm just like, I don't know. We will make a way. So we opened up the gallery, and that's what we've been doing for a year now.
Thank you, Lorenzo. As far as I'm understanding, your gallery actually is a collection of all the local artistic pieces, right?
Yeah.
So how do you work with local artists here to kind of collecting those pieces?
Well, just being I would say in the emerging and established art, I've met a lot of artists that I've just truly fell in love with their work and just their personality and character. So, it's just not based Clarksville. Nashville has always been a good home to me for art, and so I know a lot of artists, and I just wanted to put together something different. I've been here for 20 plus years now, and I've been familiar with all of the galleries and all of the co-ops that we have here, and I wanted to bring something different to kind of push a narrative to there's another world outside of what we've known our art to be here in Clarksville. So just knowing those artists and developing that rapport with them and picking and choosing, and the program is based off theme exhibitions. So if I know an artist that meets a certain theme that I'm trying to express to our community to support social, economic change, cultural change, then I'm going to place those together. I like group exhibitions the most.
Thank you, Lorenzo. So you do your arts, your own artwork, and you also come across other artistic works. So I want to ask you, what are you trying to communicate through all those kind of artistic works?
That every artist is different. I wanted to spread an emphasis that art is universal, and every artist has a story, whether it be comparison or contrast. I feel that the art truly initiates a conversation with our community, that there is change and that there is always a ongoing conversation of the art itself in humanities, really.
Yeah, since you mentioned that word humanity, and we know that our main theme is actually humanity. So would you mind if I'm asking you, what's your understanding of humanity?
That's a good question. James, I think for my concept, I went to school, and humanities, had a class of humanities, and just learning the past and the history, and it's always exploration of past, present, and future for the human experience. And that can be a well-rounded thing. I think of art as universal. So it's just not visual. It's performance. It's literacy. It's cooking. I think we all are here to humans. We're all here with a gift, a certain gift, whether it be teaching, whether it be just anything that helps us serve others. So I think humanities, in a nutshell, is just the exploration of humans in past, present, and future.
Thank you. And you talk about that humanity, and would you mind if you can give us an example to indicate, to talk about how that word humanity is connected to your artistic work?
Artistically, for myself?
Yeah, for yourself. You can talk about anything.
I think it's the experience. As an artist, I started out just creating for monetary. It was me as an artist. I knew I wanted to be a visual painter, and that turned into sculpturing. But opening up the experiences that we all individually have, I think that through visual art for myself, it helps me understand that I have to be vulnerable, and the stories, the art is told through the stories or the experience that I've faced. I think with other individuals, it can be a means of what is the reason that you do the art. And I always try to push that envelope with artists. It's more of artist focused, artist direction. So as I come across these artists, I look at the work, and then I understand, okay, what is the essence of this particular being? What are they trying to convey? What are they trying to tell the world in their own practice?
Thank you, Lorenzo. You mentioned that word, particularly being vulnerable, and that's actually impresses me. Could you mind if you elaborate on that, what that means being
Yeah.
an artist?
I think vulnerability is just, and I speak just from self exploration. Say the accident that I was in last year, that opened up a different aspect of submission to a higher being, which is why now I'm more into spiritual work. And through those specific pieces, it's like, I wasn't able to walk. So I was actually developing these pieces while I was in a wheelchair as I was, trying to give thanks for second chance. And from that, it was like, I put together series. I'm always a series guy. I want to put together works, not just one particular one and done. It's more of like, this is where I was at this moment. And I always, now as an artist, I wait for the experience to happen to then produce. So as an artist, I've been kind of set back just because I've been trying to serve our community, and looking for that support through community. So I think that's just what I've been wanting to do as an artist, is just explore through that experience, and that you have to be vulnerable. I feel like through vulnerability, the strongest works come out of that from each individual.
Amazing, truly amazing. So this is all the questions I have for you at this podcast. Is there anything that you would like to add on?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
we're always trying to serve the community. This year was more of me getting into the gallerist curating aspect, and degree of project management. I just felt like it was necessary, but we're always looking for the next thing to be more engaged to our community through humanity. So I'm always looking forward to collaborating with individuals who feel that they have something to offer to our sanctuary for artists.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lorenzo. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, James, for having me.
It was really an amazing conversation with you to talk about art and your story. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Since you mentioned your art gallery, do you know where can we find your work?
Yes, James. You, as well as anybody who wants to support and encourage the gallery and what we're here to do for our purpose, you can find us on our website at lorenzoswintongallery.com, and we're on all of your major platforms like Instagram, Facebook, etc.
This is all our new episode for the Institute for Public Humanity. Thank you for joining us. Please stay tuned for the new episode coming along. Thank you.